right now I'm just having a blast in my feminine era. I never thought that I was a woman. I've always trusted the science. I thought I was a man my entire life, but after further review, I'm indeed defying as a transgender woman, and I think it's only fair I get a chance to play with some of my queens in the twilight of my career. It's just astounding that the WNBA can't define the W in the name. We're going through a very necessary conversation about who's actually eligible to play in some of these professional sports leagues, I guess on both sides of the gender spectrum. My goal is to help elevate the WNBA. The live audience will increase. It's going to help evolve the game. I mean, who would argue that a player like myself or an Enes Kanter or in the future maybe LeBron James, maybe he wakes up one day and realizes he's a woman as well. Who could argue that that wouldn't make the women's game better?
Bro, did you just have the same idea that I had?
Yeah.
So we've decided we're going to join the Women's Pickleball League this year.
Yeah, man.
That's
Women's
right.
Pickleball. Check it out.
Yep.
Look.
Give him a little show, Eric. Oh, there it is. Show him. Yep. Give him the. Yeah, there you go. Hit it. There it is. Oh, yep. There it is. Oh yeah. See, he's got perfect feminine form.
Got it.
Perfect feminine form. That was awesome. What? We're women. I think that's what you have to say to join the pickleball league. So yes,
right.
That was good. That was good, Eric. Good job, man. Woo! I'm proud of you. We're gonna get pink shirts that say, "If you're not into pink, you stink."
What the?
We're looking for other people to join our team.
If he can do it, we can do it.
That's right.
For the anything and everything and shit podcast, Justin and Aaron.
Yeah, man.
What's up, man?
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Women's pickleball.
Yeah, you ladies
man.
are in trouble, bro.
Hell yeah.
I'm telling you.
Dude.
I don't even know how to play pickleball. I don't even know anything about being a woman either. But hey, welcome to our show.
Welcome to our show. Welcome back. And thank you once again for tuning in to the Anything and Everything and Shit podcast,
That's right.
y'all. Hell yeah.
Yeah, what's up, man?
What's up, man? What's up?
Another day in the hood.
Right. And just, hey, man, just having fun out in this world, right?
That's
it's
right.
getting a little crazy, so I thought we'd stir it up, huh?
Yeah.
Stir it up.
That's some pretty fucking crazy stuff when this guy is actually just like, I'm going to declare for the Women's National Basketball League, and, you know, what are you going to do about it? You guys started it. So it's like, I don't think a lot of people know how to take this guy if he's serious or if he's like just mocking it or what. But at the same time, it's his prerogative, I guess, whatever he wants to do. I don't think I really want to run around and chase a ball and hit it with a paddle myself. But I thought that would be kind of funny if we actually.
It's entertaining, man. Hey, we're just making light of it. It's
pretty stupid.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
And funny.
Yeah. So anyway, there was a lot of other stupid stuff that's been happening in the past 5, 6, 7 years, stuff like that. But, we all had to go through the pandemic. I like to call it the Plandemic.
Right.
There was a lot of real fishy stuff. I don't know about you, but, my whole life changed right off the bat. As soon as it started, some people, for the better, some people for the worse. It was crazy how many people had to go through being ostracized for having different beliefs. I was paying attention to the news every day because I lost my job right off the bat. And I was watching the patterns, just watching everything they were saying. And it's like, I'm going to come up with my own mind, man. But there's going to be a lot of people because I've lost a lot of family, a lot of friends because of what I believed in. Now the truth is coming out. I don't hear any of those people ever coming back, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right. Well, and it was, a very confusing and just upsetting and just crazy times. I mean, and for the whole world, because everybody was getting fed different information and just,
and especially right off the bat, you know, the very beginning of it, it was real weird. It was like, well, this came from here, it came from there. We're trying to figure out where it came from, blah, 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 blah. But let's check out this video and see kind of how it all unfolded.
Right.
It's hard to imagine this is how 2020 started. But across the world, dozens were falling ill with a mysterious virus that would ultimately change life as we know it.
Chinese health authorities are still working to identify the virus behind a pneumonia outbreak in the central city of Wuhan.
At least 59 people are believed to have been sickened by the new virus.
Tonight, U.S. airports on high alert, screening passengers for symptoms of a deadly new virus.
I'm very concerned. Now that you brought it to my attention, I'll stay away from most people wearing masks.
The U.S. didn't confirm its first coronavirus case until January 21st, though we know now it's possible the virus could have been spreading as early as December 2019.
I have today declared that the coronavirus presents a public health emergency in the United States.
By the time the White House partially banned travel from China, infection levels start to explode all over the world.
It has been confirmed that there are 2 cases now in England.
Egypt's health ministry has announced a first confirmed case of the COVID-19 in Africa.
The latest Italian health report here says there have been more than 50 new cases overnight.
At the end of February, the U.S. reports its first death and confirms 25 cases. But within days, that number swells to over 1,000. And this is where things really go downhill.
COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
We will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States.
For days, this has been the picture of America.
Showed up today and it's just chaos.
Shortly after President Trump declares a state of emergency, the White House Coronavirus Task Force tells people to avoid bars, restaurants, and groups of more than 10 people. They call it, quote, 15 days to slow the spread.
With several weeks of focused action, we can turn the corner and turn it quickly.
States soon start closing schools and announcing stay-at-home orders.
Stay at home.
Stay home, stay safe.
Quite simply, stay at home.
In late March, Congress signs off on a massive $2 trillion stimulus bill as New York emerges as the global epicenter of the outbreak.
In the New York area, a lot of hospitals are already running out of beds, masks, supplies, and testing materials.
If you don't have a health care crisis in your community, please come help us in New York now.
The FDA approves the first COVID rapid test on March 27th, but they later warn it can produce inaccurate results. Just one of several testing problems still ongoing today. As we enter April, Wall Street wraps up one of its worst quarters in history. And throughout the month, unemployment skyrockets to 14.7%, a level not seen since the Great Depression. The CDC also starts recommending face masks to prevent more infections, though the president says he won't wear one.
I won't be doing it personally.
It wasn't the first time he downplayed the seriousness of the virus.
It's one person coming in from China, and we have it under control. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear. It will go away. Just stay calm.
On April 16th, the president says governors will call the shots on reopening rather than implementing a national strategy. Florida and South Carolina reopened some beaches in the following days. Meanwhile, the government's small business loan program runs out of money, further straining the nation's economy. And over the next few weeks, thousands take to the streets to protest lockdown measures. And on April 23rd, just days before U.S. COVID cases top 1 million, President Trump makes this comment during a briefing.
I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
A CDC report would later find that some Americans did indeed try gargling bleach to prevent getting infected. In May, we finally get a glimpse of good news. Pfizer announces they're working on a vaccine, and Oxford and Moderna publish promising early results. The White House also establishes Operation Warp Speed to give a boost to vaccine distribution once they're approved.
That means big and it means fast.
At this point, daily cases start to fall ever so slightly, and deaths also significantly decrease. more states start reopening.
You can see behind me there are tons of people here on the beach.
And at the end of the month, the U.S. crosses one of many tragic milestones, 100,000 deaths from COVID-19. By the middle of June, infection levels start rising again in nearly half of U.S. states. But the country's attention soon shifts to the pandemic's impact on politics, with both parties hosting virtual, well, mostly virtual conventions.
Joe Biden's plan is not a solution to the virus, but rather it's a surrender to the virus.
He keeps waiting for a miracle. Well, I have news for him. No miracle is coming.
Into the fall, two major milestones. The U.S. hits 200,000 COVID deaths, but across the world, over 1 million have lost their lives. Americans also increasingly rely on food banks as unemployment numbers remain twice as high as pre-pandemic levels. And on October 2nd,
the President of the United States and the First Lady have both tested positive for the coronavirus.
President Trump is expected to walk out of the White House and board Marine One for the short flight to Walter Reed Medical Center.
It's a stunning development in a year that has been full of them, a year dominated by a pandemic.
President Trump spends 3 days in the hospital recovering from coronavirus, returning to the White House with this message.
Maybe I'm immune, I don't know. But don't let it dominate your life.
Cases start climbing once again as we approach the election.
We have a vaccine that's coming. It's ready. It's going to be announced within weeks, and it's going to be delivered.
What I would do is make sure we have everyone encouraged to wear a mask all the time.
Infections only continue to skyrocket from there. This latest wave makes the CDC urge Americans not to travel for Thanksgiving, though millions do anyway. But we also start to see a light at the end of the tunnel.
A vaccine developed by Moderna showing a 94.5% efficacy rate.
Pfizer now says its vaccine is 95% effective.
The preliminary results published today by Oxford University show 70% effectiveness.
But as we inch closer to 2021, the U.S. is reporting record numbers of daily cases, deaths, and hospitalizations.
But ICU beds across the entire state, not just here at this hospital, but across the entire state, there are only 170 beds available, and that's in a state of nearly 7 million people.
But this time around, there aren't nearly as many stay-at-home orders, despite infection levels averaging 6 times higher than what we saw in April. And although the rollout of the first vaccines began earlier this month, we will likely have to wait well into 2021 before the world is protected from coronavirus.
Some of our nation's top health officials got the COVID vaccine today. Dr. Anthony Fauci, Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar, and National Institutes of Health Director Francis Collins all getting their first shots today. Dr. Fauci encouraging all Americans to do it too.
So many in our nation are saying, if Dr. Fauci gets the vaccine, I'm going to get the vaccine. So tell us a little bit of why it's important.
Well, for me, it's important for 2 reasons. One is that I'm an attending physician here on the staff at the National Institutes of Health Clinical Center, and so I do see patients. But as important, or more important, is as a symbol to the rest of the country that I feel extreme confidence in the safety and the efficacy of this vaccine, and I want to encourage everyone who has the opportunity to get vaccinated so that we can have a veil of protection over this country that would end this pandemic.
NBC News senior medical correspondent Dr. John Torres joins me now. Dr. John, I'm not sure there's anything more comforting for Americans than seeing their very own beloved Dr. Fauci getting the coronavirus vaccine. Let's talk for a minute about this moment. I mean, 3 of our country's top health officials getting vaccinated today to build confidence in it. What a day.
This has been a great day. And what you're seeing are, these top health officials, the ones we've been trusting over the last 10 months to give us the accurate information, even in the midst of all the misinformation that's been going on out there. Dr. Fauci is probably the most trusted person in the country right now. So to see him get the shot, and he said at one point, he's going to get it once he realizes it's safe and once he believes it's effective. He got that shot. And a lot of Americans, I think, are looking at that going, okay, if he gets it, then I'm going to feel comfortable getting it as well. So I think that's really boosting people's confidence in the shot. On top of that, you see a couple other, Dr. Collins, Secretary Azar getting it as well. These are the ones that really push forward in the production of this this Moderna vaccine, but you're also seeing politicians get it, people in the front lines getting it and saying, hey, it's not that bad. It's just a shot. And I think what we're going to see over the next couple of weeks are people getting it, not having reactions to it, and hopefully getting better or not getting COVID because of it. And I think that's going to boost the confidence across the country, Allison.
The other thing, Dr. John, I think so many of us love to hear, we've heard nurses and doctors saying, hey, it's not just you. We don't like getting shots either. Some of them are afraid of needles, even though they're in the medical profession, and they've come on TV and said, hey, it's okay. It's not that bad. I got this done and you can too. What else do you think will help Americans, will comfort people who are on the fence and just aren't entirely comfortable here?
And Allison, I think what you're seeing again are these people that, the infectious disease doctors, the experts getting it. You're seeing politicians getting it. And I think that's going a long ways towards giving people more confidence. But I think the one step that's going to go even further are people having their friends get it. And once their friends starting getting it, the community starts getting it. And they realize that, hey, this is the tool we can use to open up our communities, to open up our country and get back to normal. Then I think more people will start jumping on the bandwagon and saying, hey, let's go ahead and start getting this. If you look at the surveys, a few months ago, not that many people were saying they get it. Now the majority of people are saying that they're going to get it, and I think that number is going to climb, especially, like I said, once you see people starting to get it, they say, hey, it really wasn't that big a deal. I really didn't notice anything out of it, and now I'm protected from coronavirus. I think that's when people will start opening their eyes and going, okay, it's time for me to get it too.
Yeah, if we start thinking, too, about all the things we might be able to do again, Dr. Torres, I know I'm just hanging on to the thought that I'm going to be able to go to a Yankee game again someday soon. That's what's getting me excited about getting the vaccine.
Yeah, so that was a pretty crazy time, man. Like I said, when I found out about it, I was already sick. Like I think it was March. I was at a concert and I was already sick. And that's when I heard that the first, case in America, maybe it was the first case in Colorado. I can't remember for sure, but I was already sick for like 2 weeks. So it was kind of weird, there was this big thing coming, and then I lost my job, like I said, and watched a lot of news and
right. It was, I remember it, it was just, and it was weird, at first it was, started over in, China and they're doing weird things and making up those pop-up tents and pop-up hospitals and nobody was getting information and everybody was like, well, what the heck's going on? And you start kind of going back to like, oh, you remember the whole bird flu thing and it kind of started over there and, SARS and all these other ones that are starting over there and you're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, it's just kind of been more over there and then it was just.
But once it happened and they started kind of like, starting to think about locking people down and then my boss before I got let go was printing everybody out a piece of paper to give to the National Guard to show them that we were. What was it again?
Essential workers.
Yeah, essential workers. And I'm like, bro, I load carpet for a carpet company. I don't think that's essential, but okay,
right.
Whatever. If I get stopped by the National Guard, I think we got a bigger problem than me coming to load some carpet for you.
For real.
But it was just, the whole thing was just surreal. And then the people were, locking down. They were staying in their apartments. And then I started seeing all these commercials, for Zoom, Microsoft Teams meetings. You got all these DoorDash and places that'll bring food to you.
Service.
They got these machines that you can order now they'll send you meals every day, so you don't have to leave. You can order everything off of Amazon. I started really thinking about the whole thing, and I could not shake the image in my head that this is the beginning of a prison, man.
It was well, and that was weird is because, sitting at work, just kind of everything unfolding, and trying to do, work in this. It was before it got here that, me and my boss, we were just sitting there just kind of talking about it and, things that were going on in like Italy and, they were locking people down already, even before it was coming here. And,
showing videos of people like standing on their balcony playing music.
Right, yeah, singing to other people.
Going, hey, dude, it was all a show, man. That was all propaganda.
Just weird.
But, I'm sorry, but it was. It was like, I don't know. To me, I didn't buy it. you know, and then when everybody was about this vaccine and, you know, so hyped, once the vaccine comes out, everybody will go back to normal. The whole world will go back to normal as long as you take this shot.
Right.
And, you know, you won't put grandma in danger. You won't put my family in danger and all this stuff. And I won't have to think that you're some kind of murderer because you wouldn't take this shot.
Yeah. And that's
kind of wearing the masks and all this stuff. And it was like, bro, I was sitting in a meeting one day. For those of you that don't know, I'm a recovering alcoholic. And so I was in an AA meeting one day, and I was sitting there, and this lady told everybody that you have to put your masks on, and if you don't want to wear a mask, then you have to leave. And it hit me that it's like, this is a person that volunteers to lead a meeting. She has no authority over anybody on the planet other than she reads from the book and tells us what we're going to talk about that day. That's it. And now this person's telling me that if I don't put a mask on, no matter how bad my alcohol problem could possibly be, even if I was thinking about going to a bar right now, it doesn't matter because I'm putting everybody else in danger by not covering up my face. And it did not sit well with me, you know? I was like, that's it. I don't buy it.
Right.
I know what a natural immunity is that we're all born with. You know, I know that playing in the mud will get you to where you can play in the mud and you won't get so sick. You'll get sick maybe once, but you won't get sick all the time. Everybody knows what that is. It's actually been in science class in the 90s.
Eat some dirt.
You know, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't go along with it, you know. And then when everybody was talking about this vaccine and how rapid it was coming, and then, you know, like I was saying, when the brainwashing started is when I really started to pay attention, when the people were starting to tell you that you weren't a good person if you didn't do what they did. You know, that you're putting their family at risk and starting to talk down to you.
Yeah, and that's totally what a lot of them were doing. Is like, you know, well, think about, you know, your neighbor, or think about, you know, your friend's grandma that, you know, you could train, because it goes from person to person to person. And
right.
And I remember also with my, you know, like I was saying, you know, me and my boss, because it was just me and him, and, you know, things were slowing down. We couldn't go places. So we had a lot of conversations, especially about, like, you know, the coronavirus and with things that were going on. And, you know, he was like, yeah, he's like, you know, his dad was sick, and my mom being older, and our boss, you know, she has an autoimmune disease, and it's just like, yeah, you know, and that's how they were making you think.
That's what they did,
and that's exactly what they did. And that's what it affected the majority of
everybody
the people
inside, right, watching the news every day, waiting to find out if there was some kind of way that we could get out of the house, that we could go back to normal.
Right, go back to normal.
You know, and everybody, and they started playing it. You know, it was like, well, 15 days, this and that. And it's like, man, I'm starting to see that this is a scam, dude. Right. You know, it's starting to be like, you want me to stand outside of a hospital room while my wife dies, when you won't listen to these doctors that said that they actually know what cures this stuff. Now you're telling everybody that's even heard them or listened to them that there's some kind of anti-whatever it is. And it's like, man, this is insane. Something's going on. And you could tell by the rapid repeating of all these words. Listen to this.
Trump wrote on Twitter, "Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life." Don't let it dominate your life?
In terms of responding to a comment like that, it's gross.
It's okay to be afraid of COVID, and it's okay that it's dominating your life.
Everyone should be afraid of COVID.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
I can't come in, Mom. It's because of this flu thing.
We won't be free of this pandemic until we listen to the acknowledged truth. Listen to the scientists.
Science is truth. You know, science is truth.
What is the impact to public health when people are openly questioning the science?
Now is the time to do what you're told.
By not hearing the truth, by not listening to the scientists, they are prolonging how bad the economy will be.
When I see somebody out in the world who's not wearing a mask, I instantly think you are a threat, or you are selfish, or you are a COVID denier, and you definitely haven't been vaccinated.
Either wear a mask or get the fuck out.
What does this have? Are you vaccinated?
I am triple vaccinated.
So why are you wearing a mask?
Seek out the scientists and listen to their advice.
Listen to scientists. Listen to the scientists.
Trust the experts.
We're going to trust science. We're going to trust the experts.
Parents who say, well, I need to do my own research, makes you think of that cartoon I saw of the tombstone that said, I did my own research.
Republicans have given their voters license to believe whatever they want to believe.
Heard somebody saying, listen to the scientists, do that.
Let's listen to the scientists.
That phrase, do your own research, it's popping up a lot in conversations about coronavirus and about COVID vaccines. Doing your own research, it seems so innocent, but it can have serious consequences. Renee, what are the roots of this phrase? I feel like I used to hear it around QAnon craziness.
Tase somebody over a mask. Tasing this lady over not wearing a damn mask.
If some jerk exposed my mother to COVID because they didn't want to wear a mask, I would want to kill them.
We can watch the experts, but we shouldn't be listening to Trump, a non-medical professional.
Well, the answer is listen to Bill Gates. Bill's right about a lot of things, and he's the steep learning curve in global health.
And we're really seeing just how important it is to follow science.
Yes, exactly. And we need to listen to scientists.
The idea that people are questioning the science behind the vaccine.
The science checks out. Even if you don't believe in the science, you think you're tough enough and you're healthy enough and you're young enough. The scientists were right all along. Eventually, the science catches up with you.
Are we doing more harm than good by questioning the science behind J&J?
Trust that vaccine.
Trust the experts. Listen to the medical experts.
Trust the experts. If you don't understand the science, you don't know what you're fighting.
Just let the experts speak.
So maybe you should just shut up right now.
You don't want to take advice from your golf buddy or from your aunt. You want to listen to the scientists.
Can we all stop saying, I need to do my own research?
You see the ultimate effects of what happens when you don't listen to the scientists.
This isn't about being scared. This is about scaring us straight.
Science, science, and science. Only listen to the scientist.
If we follow the science, imagine, instead of staying locked up in their rooms, they're able to hug their grandchildren. This isn't about freedom. It's about freedom for your neighbors.
You can give each other a hug as long as everyone is fully vaccinated.
Listen to the scientists like the rest of us.
We have to listen to the scientists.
We'll listen to the scientists.
Every scientist, every expert, listen to the experts.
Listen to the science because the science works.
Very much.
Yeah.
Who's pharmacist? You're speaking.
Yeah, hi. Are you a pharmacist?
Yes, how can I help?
Yeah, hey, I've got a question. My wife, against my wishes, brought my 7-year-old son in there a few days ago for a COVID jab, and he's now in the hospital with myocarditis. And I was obviously not very happy with you guys or with my wife. She told me that she was not told that was a potential side effect. So why wouldn't you have told her that?
Okay, sorry, so it's quite a rare side effect as well.
No, it's not that. No, it's not, because I've been doing research. It's common. In the U.S., there's tens of thousands of them reported to the CDC site. So why are you not telling parents this?
We might scare the parents and they don't want to get their child vaccinated.
Yeah, so you don't want to scare the parents with something that is actually happening, that's happened to my kid. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You don't want to scare them. You need to give them the right information so they can make a proper decision. What is wrong with you? You don't want to scare them. I'm recording this conversation as well, and this is going to a lawyer next. Thank you for admitting that. So why don't you tell them? When someone comes in there and says, hey, what can go wrong? What do you say? Sore arm? Have you seen the amount of dead people? Have you seen it?
Has your wife asked before giving consent to give?
She asked what the side effects are.
Does she ask? I'm not sure because I wasn't there.
It doesn't matter. You're supposed to tell people this can happen. Now my kid. So you know what the prognosis is? You know what it is? possible death within 5 years. 20% of people with myocarditis die. It is a permanent damaged heart. It is not temporary. He's facing a heart transplant because of you. Because you didn't want to scare her. You know, no kids have died from COVID, not a single healthy kid. And you're giving this stuff out, and you're not warning people. What is wrong with you?
So there are information online that you can look up, and also have you talked to the helpline?
No, you gave the shot. When someone comes in there and asks what the side effects are, you don't not say because it might scare them from the shot. What is wrong with you?
So the benefit of getting the vaccination is, so we're giving the vaccination because the benefit outweighs the risk?
No, there isn't. Do you know I'm looking at a Johns Hopkins study? There have been 400 people under 18 die in the United States. 330 million people. Not one of them was healthy. They had cancer, leukemia, obesity, something wrong with them. Not one kid has died or ended up in the hospital. So the benefits are zero to my kid. Why did you not tell them? It's up to you to tell them. Then we make a decision, not you. You tell us, okay, it's rare, but it happens. You didn't tell her that, did you?
I'm not sure. I wasn't the vaccinator at that
you're
time.
Not doing it. So when the next kid walks in there with a mother for a shot, are you going to tell them, hey, I just got a call from someone, their kid's heart is destroyed? Keep that in mind. That can happen. Are you going to tell them that? Are you?
I cannot answer you that at the moment.
Why can't you? Because it's going to go in a court and you'll answer it. You just admitted that you don't tell people because you don't want to scare them. It's recorded.
I'm not sure.
Huh?
Sorry, I wasn't the pharmacist that did the vaccination.
You just said it. You just said
I don't know what the situation is.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know what she talked in the vaccination area. I'm not sure. I cannot speak.
No, don't try and
I cannot speak on behalf of the pharmacist that vaccinated.
You just told me you don't tell people because you might scare them. I have it on a recording. Do you want me to play it back? Every call I make, because I'm in finance, every call I make is recorded. Every email I sent is recorded. Every message I sent must be recorded. Because I work out of New York and I live in New Zealand. It's all recorded because of the SFC requires it. You are recorded. Why?
Sorry.
So you're telling people,
I don't know.
You're not telling them they could get damaged. So in case you scare them from taking a shot that can kill them, right? Is that correct? Are you brain dead? What is wrong with you?
Sorry, I don't think we should continue this conversation.
No, we should, because are you going to tell people this is a risk when they come through there? My kid's screwed. You screwed him. What about everyone else? What are you going to do? You've ruined a life. It's on you. For the rest of your life, this kid is screwed because of you, because your policy there is to not tell people that these vaccines are dangerous and deadly. Have you seen all the people dying in their sleep? Hundreds of them. Have you seen yesterday an NFL first-round draft pick 24 died? An NBA first-round draft pick died 4 days ago, dead after the shot. Are you seeing that? Or are you sitting there in your bubble collecting your $50 every shot you give, you murderer? So what are you going to do? Are you going to tell parents? Are you going to say, look, this is what can happen. It's not a sore shoulder. That's usual, but they can ruin their lives. How do you feel about that? You're ruining lives. Are you going to tell them or not? Or are you going to continue to do this?
That's not what the decision that I make.
It isn't. So you're just going to tell people, oh, nothing can go wrong, and more kids are going to end up in the hospital with ruined hearts, right? That's the plan? Because you can't make that decision. And you'd hate for them not to take the shot, eh? Because then you don't get your $50, do you?
So we always ask consent for the parent before we do the vaccination.
Yeah, but you don't tell them what can go wrong. Of course you ask consent. The parent came there with that kid. It's obvious consent. Why are you not telling them what can go wrong? I'm sure they're asking, but you're like, oh, no, nothing goes wrong. Just a sore shoulder, right? You don't tell them that the crazy guy called you and said his kid's life is ruined because of what you did a few days ago. Do you or will you?
That's I don't know if y'all remember that, the trust the science, and we
have to trust the science. We have to trust the science. We have to trust the experts. We have to trust the science. Trust the science. Trust the science.
And
trust
wear
the
your
science.
fucking mask. And wear your mask. And wear your mask. And
do as you're told. Do as you're told.
The ants go marching one by one. Hurrah!
You'll never be able to see your family again,
Man.
bro. Seriously, they were having that where it was like, we got the 4th of July coming up. We really recommend you only have maybe 10 at the most of your family and your friends at the dude.
I so remember, and that was the whole get the shot and the 10 people.
Seriously,
and,
man, it was insane. Like
very,
the
very
whole
insane.
thing.
You know what I also remember about that is when Mayor Hancock, he was like, "Oh, stay, blah blah, this and that." It was during Thanksgiving, and speaking of, and he ended up going down to see his daughter for or his son or one of the whoever was
everybody else to stay
told everybody to
home
stay home and not to have big groups and all that stuff. And here we go, one of our politician leaders that are
It was nuts, man. Like this whole thing up to the vaccine, getting all this like brainwashing happening, people losing their jobs, the whole world changing, where you got arrows going down aisles in the stores to tell the sheep which way to go and all this stuff. It's like this is crazy, bro. Like I said, it all leads to a prison. It's all leading up to the same thing. And then you start to find out that people are getting hurt by this vaccine. A lot of us that are football fans watched it happen to DeMar Hamlin, where he got hit, and they're, playing it off. There was this perfect little spot. If you turn just right and get hit just perfect in this one little, it's like the 5-finger death punch. All of a sudden, that could happen. But literally, when they asked him about it, he started talking about it. He's like, I probably shouldn't talk about that right now. It's like, we all know it was from the vaccine, man. People are getting injured from the vaccine, whether you like it or not, whether you're on the left or the right, the up, the down, does not matter. People are getting injured by this thing, and to deny it is just insane. I don't understand it.
And
you got this guy that's talking about his own kid, man. All these little kids that got injured from either wearing the mask with the bacteria, sorry to cut you off, but and then getting this shot, and taking their education away.
Well, I've come across quite a few people in the world just working in the apartment industry and all that stuff. You just meet a lot of people, and I have come across a lot of people that have long COVID. And it's because of that stupid shot, man.
They call it long COVID. It's not long COVID. It's just injury to the vaccine.
Exactly. Well, yeah, they just wanted to give it a name.
Respiratory problems afterwards because they had to live on a ventilator.
Right.
I've had open heart surgery and I was on a ventilator, and they straight up told me, they're like, as soon as we can pull this thing out, we're pulling it out. We don't want to keep it in there. It injures you. Okay, well then why were you putting people in the hospital and putting them on ventilators and then telling them they couldn't take anything other than the shot, and then they were still getting it and dying?
Right.
But who am I, man? I don't know anything. I'm just some conspiracy theorist guy, just sitting there living in the real world, actually paying attention.
Yeah, and that's, and my thing is, it's like they scared the shit out of people to get the fucking
seriously,
shot.
man, and like I said, watching this brainwashing part right there, it's like if you noticed it and you said anything about it, you were ostracized for it.
Right.
Like I said, I lost family, I lost friends. There's people that are going to probably get pissed off about this episode right now because they're still in denial. It doesn't matter what anybody says. They made a decision, and they're so afraid of being wrong or actually admitting that they were duped that they're just going to die on that ship, man. They don't care if it's on fire. Yeah, and it's like, well, do what you want, but I'm going to live my life whether you like it or not. And then, like I said, truth started coming out. People were really starting to lobby for this stuff. Certain people got elected, and certain information was going to start coming out. And these guys knew it, and that's why they tried to, suppress anybody that talked about it. It's just like the OxyContin thing when they pushed those narcotics on people.
Oh man,
and if a pharmacist was like, I don't think this is right, they would go and they would, have some hot chick go sell them on the reason why they need to keep selling that pill.
Opium
it's the same
pandemic,
thing.
So look how they
only now it's vaccines, and that's even bigger than any pain pill company could be. Vaccines are everywhere, man. It's trillions of dollars. Vaccines.
Yeah, I mean they're banking on it, man.
And none of it is legal. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say none of it's good either.
Right.
I mean, they're pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's just like, man,
Well, thank God that, like I said, some of these people that got elected and some of these people that got booted, so these people that got elected actually started bringing some of this information out, like Tulsi Gabbard. You can feel whichever way you want to about her. You could say she's insane, say whatever. All I know is that she actually went in there, got some information, released it, and then all of a sudden the CIA came and raided her house. That kind of tells me she's probably onto something, so check this out.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic. Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives. Now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024 when under oath he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research. We also received testimony from multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins, once again revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth. Dr. Fauci's close relationships with the intelligence community enabled him to assume three key roles that shield him from scrutiny. First, Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research linked to Big Pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines worth trillions of dollars. Second, Dr. Fauci was the behind-the-scenes advisor who, alongside his hand-picked so-called experts, pushed the intelligence community to endorse a natural animal origin to hide his dangerous gain-of-function research that he funded using taxpayer dollars, all of this in a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth and shift the blame and attention away from Fauci's own actions. Third, Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit, and he publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available. Now, according to hundreds of reviewed emails, which are included in this release, the intelligence community almost always incorporated Fauci's recommendations. He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt as legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Senior analysts praised Dr. Fauci not as a policymaker, but as what they called an unbiased guide to the real coronavirus experts, while deliberately ignoring experts who might dissent from Fauci's narratives. Now, Fauci didn't stop there. He blatantly lied to Congress under oath during his 2024 testimony to the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, denying that he ever spoke to any intelligence agency about COVID. Now, the correspondence I'm releasing today directly contradicts his sworn testimony. Now, we received statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions faced threats of retaliation marginalization, and many suffered career setbacks. For example, a contractor was terminated just days after coming forward to ODNI as a whistleblower. Another example, those who advocated for the lab leak hypothesis or expressed dissenting views were reminded by their managers that leadership would determine which analysts would be promoted and which would not. The message was clear: go along or be punished. Senior leaders also sought to undermine whistleblowers by removing anonymity, which is required in the whistleblower process, as they made their complaints, and also insisting that their managers or attorneys be present during ODNI meetings where these whistleblowers were coming forward with their testimony, obviously creating an atmosphere of intimidation. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous hardship and pain for millions of our fellow Americans and countless people around the world. Now, after years of lies and censorship and cover-ups, the American people deserve transparency, truth, and accountability. The tactics that were used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook. Politicized, self-serving leaders like Dr. Fauci covered up their own wrongdoing and abuses of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president by restricting his access to the vital facts he needed to keep the country safe. It's time you know the truth.
Mr. Fauci, do you know who David Schertler is?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. What does the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution say?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
No, I'm just asking you what it says.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
I'm going to give the Constitution to my aide. He'll bring it over to you so you can have it for future reference. I think it's something that every American should know what the Constitution says. Do you know who wrote the Fifth Amendment?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
So you're invoking a right that you don't know who wrote it or what it says. Is that correct?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Wow. All right, let me tell you who David Schertler is for the audience, because he was ejected by the chairman. He's a high-profile criminal attorney. He's represented some really great people, like Senator Bob Menendez. Maybe that's somebody who my Democrat colleagues may remember took gold bars as bribes from the Egyptians. And there's an article here in the Washington Free Beacon that talks about why you would hire a guy like David Schertler. And the comment is, if you're in deep shit, that's who you call. Do you feel like you're in deep shit?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Clearly, what you think today is that somehow you're above reproach. Somehow you feel like you don't need to be treated like a normal American. Can you do me a favor in the audience and stand up if during the time of the COVID pandemic, you were called a racist for calling the virus a Wuhan virus or the China virus? If you thought the 6-foot rule was total crap, if you thought the vaccine wasn't something that you should take, if you thought it was outrageous the way the mask policy was rolled out, if you were fired from your job for not taking that vaccine, including members of the military, if you thought closing schools was catastrophically stupid, and that you thought that during these times saying these things made you somehow a lesser human being. Dr. Fauci, can you just turn around and look at the people behind you? You're not willing to do that? That's not a question. It's not a question. To your lawyer, it's not a question. It's a request. All you have to do is look up from your lawyers and look at the people who were absolutely shamed for saying what we know now to be the truth. You can't even look at them? That's a question. Are you able to look at them? You can sit down in the audience. There was a mom in Ohio during the depth of the coronavirus pandemic, decided to go to her high school football game for her son. They hadn't been out much. The kids had been learning at school, and then the school got shut down. They hadn't really gotten much out of that education. As any parent knew, that remote learning was no learning at all. But it was a Friday night. Her son wanted to go watch a buddy go play football. So they went to the stadium. They sat alone, far from everybody else, just a mom, a dad, a few kids. They didn't feel they needed to wear masks because it was stupid, because they were outside. They all live together. They're not near anybody. Dr. Fauci, do you know what happened to that mom and that family? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
They were dragged out of that stadium and arrested. Those policies were put in place because you had moronic politicians that listened to the words of a megalomaniac who was more interested in having met a Kardashian than the suffering of the American people, and that is you. Your advice to communities like that, to idiotic politicians who enforce those rules, arrested that mom for watching a football game with her own family outside. When that story broke, I said to myself, I cannot stand idly on the side and watch this happen. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. And if my Democrat colleagues are standing there defending you, I hope the voters of the United States of America watch the clips of every one of you doting on a guy who was more interested in being a celebrity than saving American people. I will make it my mission to make certain that every single one of those Democrats who did that will see that clip over and over and over again. Because there is no defense of what you did. You may have had a 50-plus year legacy of public service, but it ends in total and complete disgrace. So let me ask you an opportunity to answer one question. Will you apologize, just apologize, to the people who you harmed through your actions? Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Well, I can't tell you because I can't tell you.
All right. I can't tell you because they told me I can't tell you.
Holy shit, man. Give me a break.
That's, dude, and it's all of the news. It's like, well, he's got a pardon or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, because he's got that pardon, the fifth doesn't apply, bro.
Well, no,
now you're in contempt of court, right? And now you're actually they're actually talking about. We've got to talk about it. Maybe we'll charge him. What are you talking about, bro?
You're right.
If I went to court drunk, they wouldn't talk to anybody about it. They would just put me in jail for contempt. Period. You get out of line in court, contempt, going to jail. This guy pled the fifth after being pardoned. That's contempt. We got to have a lobby.
You know, he's not. I mean, he's not going to say nothing, and it's just like how, I mean, he has a slimy freaking, that lawyer. As homeboy said, if you want to get out of something and you have enough money, get this guy.
What the fuck did he pay all that money for so he could say I plead the fifth every 5 seconds?
Well,
like you could have done that and not paid anything, bro. You didn't even have to have a lawyer to tell you to say that.
You could have had
just repeat yourself.
What was that show called? Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah, even Saul would have
even told you, like, bro, what are you paying me for? I'm just going to tell you to say the same thing.
Like, geez, man, what
Dumbass.
are you, dummy? I mean, yeah, but
what a waste of time. I mean, at least some of these, senators and congressional people got the ability to say a little bit of what we feel, but that's that's scraping like the top, outer skin of the whole situation for me. Like they're
another kick to the stones.
It's pretty deep.
Just another kick to the stones.
Seriously, and if that guy doesn't have to go and meet some kind of judgment, there are going to be a lot of people that are pissed, bro. And that's the thing. Like, yes, this started in 2020. We're pretty much moving past it, but you still got people that are, so virtuous that this is a big deal. And I'm just letting it be known right now that the only reason I want to make sure that everybody knows about this is because this wasn't just a little deal.
No.
This wasn't just like, hey, we got a rainstorm coming for a week. You might want to bed down for a minute.
This was
this ruined people's lives. People died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a bigger deal than that.
It was a whole world that he had his little freaking finger on. It wasn't just the States. It was the whole freaking world. And, the WHO was listening to him and it's just like, yeah, man.
Started it and then became the pundit, like she said. But who am I to say, man? Let's just see what he has to say about it.
Yeah.
To the topic today is the issue of pandemic preparedness. And if there's one message that I want to leave with you today, based on my experience, and you'll see that in a moment, is that there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, but also there will be a surprise outbreak.
I don't know how many times I can say it, Madam Chair. We did not fund gain-of-function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Anyway, so let me just go on about NIH lifts funding pause on gain-of-function research that might be anticipated to create, transfer, or use enhanced potential pandemic pathogens. I don't think this is going to be foolproof. Things are going to slip through.
If it may have been a lab, may have been nature, we're supposed to look forward, then why did Dr. Fauci work so hard for just one of those theories?
I'm almost have to laugh at that, Neil. I mean, that's totally bizarre. First of all, I wasn't leaning totally strongly one way or the other. I've always kept an open mind.
As you know, there's a sort of urban legend that there's a biological warfare center in Wuhan and that the coronavirus escaped from that. Did you have any sense of where it probably came from?
I think ultimately we know that these things come from an animal reservoir. I've heard these conspiracy theories, and like all conspiracy theories, they're just conspiracy theories.
I wasn't leaning totally strongly one way or the other. I've always kept an open mind.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
Should you be wearing 2 masks or 1 mask? I often myself wear 2 masks. Can we make a general recommendation that doesn't have scientific basis yet? No.
Please wear a mask.
The chances of my getting infected in an indoor setting is extremely low. And that's the reason why in indoor settings now, I feel comfortable about not wearing a mask because I'm fully vaccinated.
When you're in a congregate indoor setting, wear a mask. First of all, I didn't recommend locking anything down. I went with Dr. Birx into the president and said, 15 days are not enough. We need to go 30 days. Obviously, there were people who had a problem with that because of the potential secondary effects. Nonetheless, at that time, the president went with the health recommendations, and we extended it another 30 days.
First of all, I didn't recommend locking anything down.
So the worst possible thing you could do is vaccinate somebody to prevent infection and actually make them worse. This would not be the first time, if it happened, that a vaccine that looked good in initial safety actually made people worse.
Well, the latter part of what you just said is untrue. You don't get worse results from vaccinating.
She really has the flu. She definitely doesn't need a flu vaccine.
The optimal degree of protection when you get infection is to get vaccinated after infection.
Because the best vaccination is to get infected yourself.
The optimal degree of protection when you get infection is to get vaccinated after infection.
She really has the flu. She definitely doesn't need a flu vaccine.
So if you're saying, are we out of the pandemic phase in this country? We are.
Is this country ready for another pandemic? And are we still in the one we have not, that we've been talking about?
Well, we certainly are still in it. The safety of these vaccines have been clearly established. The long-term effects that the people are apparently concerned about really have with I'm sure there is a very, 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 very rare exception, but the long-term effects are really essentially non-existent.
Do we have any data about, vaccines and the back end of that, or the negative side of that? There's been a number of studies. New York Times just did one about menstruating cycles and how that is affected by vaccines.
Yeah, the menstrual thing is something that seems to be quite transient and temporary. That's the point. That's one of the points. We need to study it more. We need to study it. Because the other side that just keeps putting out misinformation and disinformation seems to be tireless in that effort.
An article in the San Francisco Examiner, I think, a Sunday magazine section, which was just phenomenal. I still have a picture of it. It says, I call you murderer, an open letter to an incompetent idiot, Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of NIAID.
Well, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but, I kind of remember some of these clips, and I kind of, but yeah.
Dude, I remember when people, I think it was like Alyssa Milano or something like that, put a crocheted mask on her face and was posting it online, and everybody started beating her up about it. And then Fauci came out and was like, there's no need for masks. There's no need. It doesn't scientifically show that it stops the spread. And then 2 or 3 days later, he's like, bro, I didn't even think that all these mask companies could make some money. Bro, everybody got to wear a mask. Maybe you should wear 2 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wear 2 of them.
Unless you
Except
already
for
have.
when I'm in the Washington baseball game. I don't wear it during, when it's not commercial break.
Right.
Fucking loser.
Masks and gloves and oh my goodness, man. And don't forget freaking man, Lysol and zipper suits. And man, we had it like for my work. We had it all. And
show a band sitting there on the stage, and they all got their little instruments inside their little bubble.
Oh man,
it zips up. It's like, bro, I don't know, man. I saw Outbreak, when it came out.
Yeah.
And you get a little. Oh my God! The whole world, we're gonna die because got a little.
Yeah.
And you got this little piece of
cloth. Yeah, and that's
you see your mouth move. And
that's gonna save us all. That's helped save us all.
Is that what it was, or was it exercise for their facial recognition? I don't don't know, because they were tracking everybody everywhere everybody went, and then getting pictures of everybody with their mask on. So maybe that's just way they could avoid people knowing that they're being facially recognized. I have no idea, man. Like I said, I'm just some dumb conspiracy theorist that lived through it just like you did.
Yeah.
I just happened to have my eyes open. I didn't poke myself with anything. Just saying, been of sound mind other than when I had surgeries or something.
Yeah. I mean,
this doesn't make any sense to me, man.
And it didn't make sense to a lot of people. And a lot of people didn't want to go get that shot. And I was one of them. I honestly, did not want to get it. Like I said, me and my boss would have conversations over, because it was just us and we couldn't really do a lot. So hours of just conversations about a lot of shit and a lot about this, where do we think it came from and why? And then, the shot. And it's like, do you want to get the shot? And it's like, not really. But it's like, well, they made, it's like, well,
you even heard Fauci say it's about time you start doing what you're told.
Right, yeah.
And if you don't want to do it, we'll make you do it. Maybe we need to threaten you with your education or your jobs or your livelihood. Maybe we need to do that to make sure that everybody gets this. And again, what is the point other than making all this money?
Yeah.
What's the point of having every human being on the planet vaccinated? What would be the point of that? And what is actually in there? And on top of that, why did you have to have something signed for 50 years before you actually have to talk about it?
Because
I'm just asking questions, and I guess that makes me a bad, terrible person that wants your grandma to die. But I'm just asking some questions.
Yeah.
Apparently that's illegal now.
Well, yeah, no, it's very illegal. You can't ask questions.
It's a little better now than it was. I don't know if you noticed that, but fact checkers and all that, some little guy that thinks he's a deer is in there saying, this is wrong. It doesn't flow. The narrative. It doesn't follow.
Oh, but yeah.
It's insane, man.
Nuts, dude. But, they had everybody by the nuts.
Not me.
I mean, in a sort of way, they might not have got you the shot, but they still had you kind of fired and at home where they wanted you. Unfortunately, I'm just
fine.
Out
of a dead-end job.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
I know. I mean, you could see it whichever way you want. You can take it in a positive direction. You could take it in a negative. I didn't get a shot. Still, I'm not like some puppet of the state. I won't put some piece of crap on my face because you tell me to. I've stood up to cops. I won't stand on that little X when you tell me to. I'm a free human being, man.
Dude,
you can ask me kindly to do things. I might consider it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
Man, shit got ridiculous, didn't it?
Yep.
You're not on it. I was like, hold on, man. I got my freaking mask on. You made me get this fucking card.
Nope.
Shut the fuck up. Leave me the fuck alone, please.
Not doing any of it.
So.
Sorry.
They got us. So. Strange facts you may have never known. Yeah, man. All right, party people. You guys are going to freaking love this one. Because it's a strange fact you may have never known.
Yeah.
In Florida, people who own bars, restaurants, or other places where liquor sold may be fined up to $1,000 if they participate or permit any contest of dwarf tossing. So powerful it almost knocked off my headphones, dude. Man. Dwarfed. I guess that's a thing.
Wow.
Could you imagine, man? Like walking, you're a visitor, probably going down there for maybe, I was gonna say spring break, and maybe that's where it started. Those spring breakers probably, they're partying, got a hold of.
It's just in Florida.
That's what it says, just in Florida.
Man, we're in Colorado. You dwarfs are in trouble.
We
didn't even know it was a sport, but you know what? We're going to try to take it up. Whether you got to be a woman or a man.
Hey, man, I guess, well, now we got two things. Now we got women pickleball and dwarf tossing.
Sorry to the little people. We're not trying to offend. We just thought it was kind of funny.
It was just, like
I'm not sorry. If you can't laugh at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, dude.
Grow up.
Yeah. Like I,
Kidding.
That's fucked up. I just caught that. Grow up. You're fucked up, dude. Oh, my goodness.
Love you.
That was awesome, bro. And on that note,
right on, guys. Thanks for watching
once
this.
Again, don't forget to hit everything down there, like, subscribe, pass it on, share, and all that goodness, man. And we much appreciate anything and everything that you all do for us. And shit. Thanks.
Yeah.